Hello, we are live. It's not quite 10 yet, so come here. Say hi, Cherry Blossom. Don't you want to be on the live stream? No? Look, see, there's the people up here. No? Okay. I thought maybe she would play with us, but no. Is it 10 o'clock yet? No. This is a totally no frills live stream, by the way. Obviously, like no fancy makeup, no like I guess my hair's kind of extra, but I just washed it. It's not like it's anything special. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I should start. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. I am Michelle from Unicorn Centaur, and if you are watching this on the playback, this is a live stream, so you will not be able to join the chat, and it's not like an edited video, but I hope you'll hang out and like listen to the discussion. So tonight's live stream, we are doing a stitch and bitch, so to speak, a knitting circle, except I'm crocheting. So tonight's live stream, I'm just going to be working on some crochet projects while we discuss our topic. And tonight, hang on, let me get my hot chocolate. Excuse me. Got my hot chocolate in my Unicorn and Centaur mug. And tonight we're talking about holiday stress, mental health, and the holidays. This is supposed to be like the jolliest, most wonderful time of year. Who's here? Oh, Brittany, hey. This is supposed to be like the jolliest, most wonderful time of year, but a lot of us, especially people who deal with anxiety and depression, things like that. Excuse me, hang on. Oh my gosh. How am I burping? I haven't even started drinking my hot chocolate. So this can be really stressful. So tonight, I just maybe want to share a little bit about what I do to keep myself sane. Ha ha ha. If you know me, that's a little bit weird. And chat, like, what's your deal? If you want to share your holiday stresses with me, you can go ahead and do that in the chat. I'm not a therapist or anything. I'm just like a friend who listens. And because I've been through a whole lot of stress and anxiety, I know where you're coming from. Well, I may not know exactly where you're coming from. I don't know. Anyway. So do you get stressed out this time of year? Yummy hot chocolate, yes. Actually, it's like cheap hot chocolate. It's like, I got it at Walmart, like a giant can of it last year, and we never ate all of it. God, we never drank all of it. So I'm trying to finish it up before it expires in February. So I am working on, oh, let me show you something else first. I am working on a horse ear bonnet, and the one that I made so far is like super huge. And I don't know, I think it's going to be too big. I used a different kind of yarn than in the pattern that I had. And then there were parts of the pattern that I don't like. So I'm actually working on my own version of this. And the way I did the thing, this is like way too long in the front. This is going to go down to Artax's nose. So I'm going to take this out to the barn tomorrow, and I'm going to try it on both of my horses. So check Instagram for pictures of this monstrosity. I'm also bringing my measuring tape to the barn tomorrow so that I can take more accurate measurements of my horses' faces. I just wanted to knit one out so I'd have this pattern, and then I'm going to measure tomorrow and adjust it and make another one. So the triangle front part of this turned out way too long. So I worked on another piece so I could figure out a different decrease pattern for the front of it. So when I finally get everything worked out, I'm going to end up having a pattern, and maybe I can sell the pattern on Etsy or make these to sell on Etsy. So we'll see. We'll see if my pattern turns out good. Anyway, what are you up to tonight, Brittany? What are you doing? All right, so this is I love this mesh pattern too, especially since it's so hot down here in Savannah for so long. It's not like we need hats to keep our horses' heads warm. And if you wear things like this in the summertime, it's a little bit insane. You don't want your horses to like sweat and freak out. So anyway, stressed because I got home late from the barn, had to get my lover from the police. What happened with Tom? Why is he at the police? What did he do? Brittany, child. Actually, no, you don't have to share here. This is a public forum. If you don't want to talk about your boyfriend drama, please don't. But if you would like to share, girl, I am here for you. Or you can message me about it. But that does sound extremely stressful. One of the things that I do to control my stress at the holidays is to crochet or to knit. Now, doing something like this, working out a pattern and figuring out what to do at all the little different places, that's not as mentally relaxing for me as doing something like a scarf. I make scarves for, oh, dang it, I pulled out one of the stitches. I make scarves for stress relief because it's the same stitch over and over again. Like this scarf that I'm making right here, it's the same double crochet stitch over and over and over again. So if I'm feeling stressed out, like I do have panic attacks. So if I am feeling stressed out and I'm feeling panicky, one of the ways that I can calm myself down and soothe myself through a panic attack is to crochet. And it's to do these same stitches over and over again. So I might watch a TV show, one that I don't really have to pay attention to, like something I've seen before or something that's really talky. Like lately, I've been watching these like cold case file um, TV shows where they show like cold cases that people have solved. And I just think that's, I don't know, like I don't have to pay attention to it too hard. I can sit here and crochet and maybe not panic so much. So, yeah. Well, so while we're here in the chat, Britt, let me tell you guys, and for anybody watching on the playback, and for anybody who's watching who is just not participating in the chat, I have depression. It's a bipolar depression that is mild. So my mania is hypomania, which is usually just me getting irritable and creative and thinking like I know it all for a while. But then the depression hits again too. But I also have anxiety. And these conditions were, my symptoms became severe this year. Like I've always been able to deal with my mental illnesses without medication and without help of any kind. Like I can handle it on my own. Yeah, it sucks sometimes, but I can do it, right? So this year, all my OG friends, like Brittany, you know, when I went to Texas last year, that was supposed to be like a whole new thing that was supposed to change my whole family's life. And I mean, it did, but not in the way I thought. So I moved everybody to Texas last year, right at the end of the year. And then the jobs that we went for just disappeared. They did not exist when we finally got there. And I had not gotten contracts in writing. So we ended up having to turn around and move right back to Savannah, which was heartbreaking for many reasons. It was also bank breaking. We lost a lot of money. I had to give away my horse Weasley. So I went from 3 horses to 2 horses. It was a huge deal. So my mental health that I'm normally able to regulate on my own, I suddenly was not able to. So the very beginning of this year, like last February, was really dark for me personally. I went through a lot, and it was January before I decided to seek help. That I decided, hey, this is bad enough and it's affecting my entire life enough that I need help. So I made an appointment at the local clinic for a physical. Oh, sorry, no, let me go back. First, I had hormonal problems. I had lady problems that I had to get on hormones for. That helped my depression and anxiety quite a bit, but it was still pretty severe. So then in July, I started trying to figure out how to take more steps to take care of myself. At the end of August and September, I sort of got on a program where I was getting regular amounts of sleep, not eating junk food, and no caffeine. And the no caffeine and getting a ton of sleep did amazing things for my depression and anxiety. So there we go. If you're having holiday stress, my first suggestion to you is to do your best to get enough sleep. And if you're addicted to caffeine, oh my God, if you have anxiety and you're addicted to caffeine, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It was amazing. One of the things that happened when I got off caffeine was I started to realize the difference between a caffeine overdose and a panic attack. And there were quite a few panic attacks that I was having that were fueled by an excess of caffeine. So I know that's hard. It's hard to stay on routines at this time of year. And that's another thing. When you have depression and you have anxiety, Regular schedules can be very soothing. So, like going to bed at the same time every night, or waking up at the same time every night, or eating one meal at the same time every day, or just having a regularity to your day helps you avoid anxiety triggers. And the holidays really disrupt a regular schedule. If you are soothed by a regular schedule, this time of year can make you absolutely nuts. So, oh my gosh, I'm trying to get this end stitch here. Okay, there we go. By the way, Cherry Blossom is right down here still, making sure that I know she has not had dinner yet. Um, okay. So this scarf that I am crocheting tonight is going to be a gift for someone I love. If she's watching the live stream and she gets her Christmas present, she'll be like, I watched you crochet this. So there you go. And if the person who's getting it is watching and she knows this is her favorite color, she's going to be like, that's for me. All right. Okay, so where was I? Oh my gosh, hang on. I'm about to get into some hot chocolate. And I'm actually watching the chat on the computer tonight. I have not even picked up my phone. Okay, hot chocolate. I guess I don't need to go in the chat if I can see everything on the thing. Oh my gosh, is this even going? Okay. Okay, there we go. Not that I can see it any better there. So regular sleep is one thing that I really recommend for anyone who struggles at this time of year. And yeah, oh, let me get back to the next chapter in my journey. I got sleep and I got off caffeine. And the next thing I did was, I still wasn't okay. So the next thing I did was get into therapy. And I hear people talk online about not being able to afford therapy. And honey, if that's you, I hear you. I don't have health insurance. I am a poor American and I don't have health insurance. So I have to pay for everything out of my pocket and everything's expensive. But there is a clinic here in our town. Actually, there's a couple of clinics, and I go to one of them, and they do physicals, and everything is based on your income. So it is kind of a pain in the butt where you have to go in and you have to show them your social security card, and you have to show them either a tax form or paycheck stubs or something like that so you can prove your income. And then they do it on a sliding scale. So like doctor appointments for me there cost me $40. And therapy appointments cost me $20. It's $20 for me to go get a therapy appointment. Like even on my crap income, I can afford that. So I've been going once or twice a month, and that has helped me sort out some things a lot as well. So having a therapist or a mental health expert on your side is another way. Taylor's here. Hey. Taylor, I've been chit-chatting. I'm sitting here crocheting. That is all I'm doing tonight. We're having a stitch and bitch. Are you working on anything tonight? Any Christmas gifts for others or any special projects? Also, I was explaining earlier that I crochet scarves because it's the same stitch over and over. It's a self-soothing activity for me. I probably should offer more scarves on my Etsy site, just like scarves. Maybe I should call them anxiety scarves. So when I need a self-soothing activity that's not stuffing my face with candy, or being in bed all day long, I can watch interesting YouTube videos and just sit and crochet. Hi, baby. Are you going to get up here? You want to be on the live stream? Come here. Come here. You want to get up in my lap? Come here. Taylor's on the live stream. She loves kitty cats. Don't you want to be up here? There you go. So here's Cherry Blossom. She is purring and making biscuits on my lap. Okay, but now I can't see the chat. What do? I can't see the chat. Hang on, let me grab my phone. Say hi to everybody. Just got in bed trying to work on stuff, but too stressed to actually do anything. That's why I do this. Is my biggest thing. When I get too stressed to do anything else, I grab a scarf and I just start crocheting or knitting, because I can do the same stitch or the same pattern over and over again, and then kind of have something to show for it at the end of however long I need a break mentally. But like doing something elaborate, doing a creative project that I have to think about or plan or work on, that doesn't work as a self-soothing activity. That I kind of have to be in a mental space for. I don't know, can you even see her right now? See, they can't see you. You're down to, there you get, no, don't leave altogether. That's it. Look, that's what I get. Okay. So this is how long my scarf is so far. I was making a horse ear bonnet, but I got finished with what I needed to do. I can't do anything further. I can't start another one because I don't have the right measurements. I have to take this to the barn tomorrow and measure it on my horses to see what I need to adjust, where I need to adjust the pattern. So I can't start on another one until I get accurate measurements. So here I am knitting scarves, knitting scarf Christmas presents for all the people in my life. So if you get a scarf from me for Christmas, I've had a lot of anxiety. So yes, in my journey to mental health, I have started to see a therapist and a counselor, which is super cheap. She blends in very, I know, I'm always wearing black, so my black cats just totally blend in. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about mental health this week is because I had a really big breakdown last week. That's actually why we didn't have a live stream. I told everybody I was sick, which is true. I was recovering from a rather severe episode. I don't know what to call it. Episode. It wasn't really a panic attack. It was bad. It was bad. It took 2 days to recover from it. And so that's why I didn't have the live stream. I just was not up for it mentally. I couldn't do it. And so this week I was like, you know what, let's do something relaxing. Let's do my self-soothing activity and we'll talk about how messed up I am. We'll talk about mental health. And I'll just crochet. So I've got my hot chocolate and I've got my crocheting. I really prefer knitting, but crocheting seems to be easier to undo if you've made a mistake. Like if I've made a mistake knitting, I just frog the whole thing and start over again. But if I've made a mistake crocheting, I just like pull out a couple of stitches and then keep going. So who messaged me? Oh, somebody messaged me. I might have to get back to them later. So let's see, other things that I do for my mental health during the holidays is sometimes I take a tech break where I turn my phone to silent and I turn off everything except soothing music on my computer. So I'll put on like some nice relaxing music and I turn off everything. I don't look at Facebook. I don't look at Instagram. I don't look at any of that stuff. And that helps. Some of my other self-soothing techniques are, I love hot baths. Like I don't even soak in them long. I sit in it, I fill up the tub with water, and as soon as the tub is like, something about the sound of the rushing water into the tub is what soothes me. So like sitting in the silent tub once it's full, I'm like, ugh, this is boring. But when the tub is filling up, there's something about the sound of that rushing water that is part of the soothing of the hot bath. So I fill up the tub and I sit in it, and then I get warm, which is another reason why I take hot baths, because I can't stand being cold, and this is that cold time of year. So yeah, I get to hear the rushing of the water, and I get to get all warm, and then I just drain the water, and I'm done. So hot baths take me like, what, 10, 15 minutes? But again, it's a nice little break, and then I can put on comfortable clothing when I'm done. My therapist laughed at me because I had a whole list I wrote out my self-soothing plan for when I am feeling really not well. And one of the things on my list was no bra. And she laughed at that because like that's how I relax is like I don't they're all loose up down there. So did I get that in one? Okay. So okay. Getting longer and longer. And I was hoping to finish this during the live stream. This is how much yarn I've got left. Do you think we can crochet the rest of this up during the live stream? I don't know. I don't know. This is all I'm doing anyway. And I swear, I was not kidding. I'm in my jam. I've already washed my face, so I don't even have to wash my face when I'm done. You guys want to see what my face really looks like? All of my age spots and wrinkles. Sometimes when I take a really good picture and really good lighting, I look 10 years younger and people are like, oh my God, you look great. And I'm like, and this is what I really feel like. I'm like, y'all aren't looking at shiny, wrinkly me. That's cute Instagram me. So it really is a no frills night. No eyebrows, no eyelashes, no lips. Uh-oh. So hot bath. Lauren's here. Hey. Hey, Lauren, what do you do when you get stressed out? What are your favorite self-soothing techniques? Like I was just talking about, my favorite self-soothing techniques are, I like to take a hot bath. This is one of my self-soothing techniques is to crochet something that has the same stitch over and over and over again. So I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about a pattern. I can just do this repetitive motion over and over again. So one of my self-soothing tactics is eating junk food. And I have not done that in the last 2 months a lot. So some of our self-soothing techniques can be not so good for us. See what everyone said about what I said in the chat. Oh, what was that, Brittany? I don't think anybody said anything about that. What do you like to do, Brittany, for when you get stressed out? Like, how do you deal with stress? Like some people write in a journal about what's bothering them. Some people call or text a friend and have a conversation. I'm not a phone person. So the idea of talking on the phone with someone about my problems actually makes my anxiety worse. Some people like to go for a drive or work out. My horses, in terms of stress in the holidays, are like a double-edged sword because there are sometimes where it makes my anxiety worse when I feel like I'm failing them and I can't get out to them often enough. I can't work them enough. I don't have the health to do very much with them. So I'll feel guilty about that. But on the other hand, if I am able to get out there, they do so much for my stress levels. Just being out there with them, just breathing in that horse smell, just even if I don't ride, even if I just go out to scratch them and give treats, that is helpful. But there are days, or there have been a lot of days this year where I can't even manage that. I can't get out of the house and go to the barn. And then I feel guilty and that makes it worse. So there you go. Let's see, where did my phone go? Who here talking to me? Riding horses, yes. Using food, it's so easy. It's so easy to use food. You don't have to have any special equipment. Like, sometimes when you work out, when you exercise, you have to have like the right clothing or shoes or whatever. But with food, you just have to have food. And the really bad for you food is like super cheap. You can go to the dollar store and get a box of donuts or whatever for $1. It's ridiculous. If you want a salad, you're going to have to pay like $10 for it. And that's even at a fast food restaurant. But want an entire box of Mrs. Freshley's honey buns? That's $1 down at the dollar store. And then when I'm stressed out, I'll get the box and be like, well, I'll just have one. And then I don't have one. I eat the entire, I'll give Liam one and like give Scott one and then I'll like hoard the rest of them for myself. It's terrible. I've not done that in a long, long time. Super proud of myself. But it's so easy to use food because it's delicious. You can choose your favorite thing. We don't live in a food desert here in America. Like I'm poor, but I can walk across the street and get a 50-cent Little Debbie snack cake anytime I want, just about. And that's hard to say no to. So this is another thing that I can do instead of like shoving food into my face when I'm stressed out. Go take a walk outside. Yes. Listening to sounds, how the air feels on you. That's a really a sensory approach to talking yourself down from a panic attack. I've read a technique like this online. I think, I don't know if you've heard of this one, like the 5 4 3 2 1, where Amy made it. Hey, I'm crocheting a scarf tonight, Amy. I don't know if you're working on like horse hats or whatever. Let me know what you're working on tonight. Oh my God, now what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the 5 things, 5 4 3 2 1. It's like, I can't even remember what order it was, but like name 5 things you can see right now. Like when you're having a panic attack, name 5 things, look around and name 5 things you can see. Now name 4 things you can touch. Look around. Okay, now name 3 things you can hear. Now name 2 things you can smell and 1 thing you can taste. And just going through that mental checklist of things that you can physically sense around you helps de-escalate the reaction of stress that's happening in your body. I've not had 100% success with that technique, but it can be very effective. And I do like that idea, because when you're having a panic attack, your brain is going so fast in one direction that doing things to disrupt the train of thought can be very useful. So, having a special snack or a special food can be one of your rewards or your self-soothing techniques. But if you have a problem with eating too much food, or using the self-soothing technique so much that it becomes antithetical to your self-care practices, then that's not good. Antithetical. Is that the word I want to use? I think that's the word I want to use. It sounds important, so we're going to leave it in. Okay, hang on. Have to block out noises and calm down. Yes, sometimes I just have to be quiet. Sometimes I will go to bed. Like I will lay down on the futon, on a bed, on wherever I can. I will set my alarm for like 20 to 30 minutes. I don't even have to nap. I'm just laying down and shutting out everything in the world. I'm just Brittany, Mrs. Weasley. Me too, Brittany. That was part, I think, of what was so hard about my depression coming back to Savannah after Texas, was I came back with 2 horses instead of 1. And every time I went out there, I could feel his absence. It didn't feel right just to have 2 horses to work. And it was a long time before I could enjoy being with Sunny and Artax again. I think it was this summer before I really started to enjoy them again. There were times where I would see them maybe once a week, and that would be to go out. I wouldn't even ride. I would just go out and look at them and pet them and maybe groom them, comb the elf knots out of Artax's mane and pick out Sunny's hooves and make sure they're not thrushy. And that was all I could do. And I know what you mean about riding. Part of riding, working with horses, you have to pay attention. Yes. What was that meme? Somebody, like I had shared it, but I found it somewhere in the Extra Equestrians group. I shared it. I can't remember where I found it, but somebody was saying like the thing about horses is that only one of you gets to panic at a given time, and it's never your turn. So I can't, once I'm there, I will have anxiety when I'm going to the horses. But once I'm in the saddle, all of that melts away, because I have the body knowledge takes over. Like my body knows what to do in the saddle. It is a familiar position for me, being on a horse's back. It is immediately relaxing. Like I sit on the horse's back and it's like, ugh, and everything else that's going on in my mind melts away. I think it's probably impossible for me to have a panic attack on a horse's back. I guess unless he bolted. Artax may test me tomorrow, so maybe I shouldn't say that before going to work my squirrely Arabian. So yeah, just recently, like in the past month or 2, I've started riding Artax again, and that seemed to be the key that opened the door again for me feeling like I could really ride my horses without feeling so much pressure and stress. Oh, Amy working on a scarf. Yes. Oh, Brittany, y'all could guess what the stupidest thing. Not legal in Georgia. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good. At least it's not like he was fighting or I don't know, like arrested for stealing cars or something. I don't know. But yes, you do have to control your emotions with horses. And I guess I've been doing that my entire life. Like I started being around horses when I was 2. And I know it's not like real lessons. I mean, I was a floppy little meat bag when I was 2 years old, but you could stick me on a pony and let me go around in circles. And actual lessons started at 5 years old. So, I mean, that's like 45 years of being around horses. That's a long time of like after that much time, if I don't know how to control my emotions around horses, that's it. And I think like being a performer helps too, because I'm able to put filters on my feelings. But see, that doesn't last. I guess that doesn't last forever. That's exhausting, and when it's over with, I crash. I don't crash after horses. Like controlling my emotions around horses, masking that around horses isn't as exhausting. Like I don't have to recover from that. But if I'm around other people that I feel like I have to hide my anxiety and depression from, and I have to mask and pretend that I'm a happy, normal person, that is exhausting, controlling my emotions that way. And afterwards, I will absolutely have to crash. I will want to drink something. I will want to smoke something. I will want to like lie down and numb and medicate myself. Absolutely. I don't know. And I didn't used to be that way. That was part of my breakdown I had the other. If you just joined the live stream, I talked about last week we didn't have a live stream because I had a breakdown. It was Monday before the live stream, and it was huge. I ended up on the bathroom floor. I was I was hurting myself. I'm not a cutter, but I don't. This is the only time this entire no, this is not. But there've only been a couple of times of year this year that I have given into self harm behaviors that I've done in the past. I pull my hair out. I hit myself in the face. God, this is weird to say out loud. I bang my head against things. It's extremely soothing for me to bang my head against something when I'm upset. I don't know, it must release endorphins or something. I don't know, but it helps to feel something different. And I had one of those breakdowns last Monday. Like it was bad. And it took me 2 whole days to recover. Like I knew Wednesday, I'm like, I can't do the live stream tonight. I can't. um, so therapy. And by the way, this was after like my last therapy appointment when my therapist was like, you've been doing all this work and we're still not seeing like total improvement. Maybe we should consider medication. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm okay. I think I want to try a little longer without medication. And not less than a week later, I dropped my basket. And it was a lot of things. Like it was right before my period, and like there was some work stress, and there's something else. It was right before Thanksgiving, and oh no, it was right after Thanksgiving. So it was a lot of other things, but still, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been that severe. And yeah, I don't know. It's really crazy. It feels weird to talk about this, but I mean, y'all, if you've been with my live streams for any amount of time, y'all know I'm liable to drop just about anything here in the stream. So okay. I got no secrets from anybody. I will discuss my troubles. But I didn't talk about it much. And that's why last week I was just like, hey, no live stream because I'm sick. Which again was not technically untrue. Mental illness is still illness. But that's also why this week I wanted to talk about how we take care of ourselves from that. And how we really, because self care is different from self soothing. Self care is me doing the things like going to bed at my regular bedtime, even though I want to sit up and eat snacks and scroll on Facebook until 3 o'clock in the morning. Self care is when I say no to the honey buns and the Diet Dr. Peppers and instead drink water and eat vegetables. These are hard things to do. Self soothing is the crocheting and the having a snack and the having a drink of wine and taking a bath. These are all things that are okay, but they don't really contribute to my overall health and wellness. So, yes, Brittany, what's up? People think I have bipolar, but is it true? You have to get a doctor to diagnose that, Britt. I cannot tell you if you have bipolar disorder. That is something that a doctor or a psychiatrist needs to evaluate you and let you know. If you're concerned, like make an appointment with your doctor and just go in and talk about it. That's what we had. That's what I had to do. I'm actually for the Savannah people. I'm going to Curtis v. Cooper down on East Broad, and it's a pay by a sliding scale. So when I go there, according to my income, I only pay $40 for um, doctor's appointments, and then $20 for therapy. It's every time I go for therapy, it's just $20. So, and that's me not having insurance, but you have to get a doctor's appointment. So if there's anybody watching the chat who lives in Savannah who has, if you're thinking you can't afford therapy and you're thinking that, you're just going unmedicated and trying to get by, you can find help. Anyway, the people at Curtis v. Cooper have been absolutely fantastic to me. Love my doc. They helped me figure out my hormone issues when I was, having trouble with that. They've helped me with therapy. They're fantastic. There's also a super hot guy working there. So there you go. It's hard to get away from caffeine. I know. And those lumps, yeah, you got to get those lumps checked out too. Amy, I used to bang my head on things too. It's weird. Yeah. Love you. Oh, Taylor said peace out and go to bed. I'm sorry I missed that. Yeah, and let me tell you, okay, if there's anyone watching who is wondering how to head these things off, there are behaviors that I start doing, obsessive behaviors that I start doing. And when they get really bad, I know that I'm about to have an episode that I might hurt myself. One of them is rocking. Like it's weird and I can tell I'm doing it and I can't stop. And I will rock back and forth. And there's something about that repetitive motion that calms me down. It's a self-soothing behavior, I think, from childhood. But when I notice I'm doing it, I realize it's okay. I've been telling myself I'm okay, but I'm really not. And another one is skin picking. I pick at my skin and I can't stop. And when it gets really bad, like I will have sores and things all up my arms where there was like a new spot that I picked here the other day. So when I start getting really crazy about picking my skin and not being able to stop, that's another one. So I'll be skin picking, I'll be rocking back and forth. And I'm like, hey, I need to take care of myself before I have a breakdown. And usually that works. Self-awareness is a big thing during the holidays. Like if you're having stress, you need to know what you're doing or be aware of your behaviors, before you have a breakdown. Because obviously once you have a breakdown, it's too late. Hey. Oh my goodness. So here I am. I'm still not, I was hoping to finish this scarf tonight. And I've got 2 more that I'm going to do after this. Let me show you the yarn. These are the ones that I like. Karen Simply Soft. These are like $3 at Walmart, and they're soft. They're acrylic, so they're cheap, but they're really, really soft. And then I got this pink. I normally hate pink, but I kind of like this color. It looks a lot softer in person than even it does on camera. It's like a really soft, pale baby pink. Uh-oh, I am out of hot chocolate. Okay, so I'm back to here. And by the way, anybody who, Amy's awesome Afghan, Amy Lohman, who is in the chat tonight, go check her out on Instagram. Amy's awesome Afghans. So she's been making like scarves and blankets and stuff, but she also makes these really cool hats for not just ear bonnets, but hats, like winter hats for horses. And you can get one matching for yourself. So anyone who's in the chat, y'all go check that out. Follow Amy on Instagram. And hey, anybody else who wants an Instagram follow, I think I'm following all you guys. But anybody who wants to follow each other, y'all go for it. somebody's sending me a message yet. Brittany. Oh, Brittany, I see you now. Okay. Why is that doing that? I hate that. Okay. So, Amy, I need to figure out how to do those horse hats. I want to make one for Sunny and Artex. Oh, and by the way, Amy, I don't know if you were here when I was showing the ear bonnet I was making. I think it's too big. I made it from a pattern and I used a different kind of yarn. So I think this one is actually too big. And I did a different front. I didn't like the front piece. So I tried to do my own thing and it ended up being way too long. Look at that long pointy thing. So then I did a different one with a different decrease that goes a little bit shallower. So once I get the sizing figured out, I'm going to make another one according to the new sizing specifications and then do the front like that. So hopefully by the end of next week, I'm going to have my own horse ear bonnet pattern because I really like that mesh stitching. I like that. I've had a hard time finding a crochet ear bonnet pattern that I really like. Heading to bed. Oh, good night, Lauren. Thank you for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. And your input. Valuable as always. Those always split when I use them. Oh, the Simply Soft. They do. They do have a problem where the ply of the yarn will split open. But if you, I sort of just like maneuver my hook around it and I seem to do okay. But I know exactly what you're talking about. They do split and it is annoying, but the end result is so soft. Like if you make baby hats out of them, they just make such soft baby hats. I used to make a lot of newborn hats. I used to make the boob hats. Have you seen those? The ones that are made, like it's just a regular beanie, but it's a flesh tone with a little pink on top and you make like, it's got a little nipple on top so that when you're breastfeeding your baby, it looks like a boob. I made a bunch of those hats at one point. And I was giving it to all my new giving them to all my new mom friends. Boob hats. So I didn't just make them for new moms either. I had one of my friends just needed a boob hat for herself. She was like, I really need one of those boob hats. And so I was like, okay. And I made her a boob hat with a big old nipple on top. Anyway, I did not have one of those when Liam did not have one of those when he was little. I figured out that later. And then I was mad. I was like, ugh, because I nursed him for over a year. It's like, I really could have used one of those boob hats. That would have been fun out in public. Anyway, I don't know if y'all have seen those or not. So, oops. See, this is splitting as we speak. Oh, and fingerless gloves. I'll send you the pattern. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yes. I always want more patterns. All right, I'm assuming you're on Ravelry, Amy. I find a lot of patterns on Ravelry. I can't even talk. Ravelry. They have a ton of free patterns. And for the longest time, I was a cheapie. And I would only look at the free patterns. But now I've gotten to where I look at other patterns too. And I bought a couple of them. Like they tend to be only like $5 or so. So, I mean, that's not that bad for patterns. And I have actually collected a couple of horse ear bonnet patterns, but none of them use the yarn that I'm going to be using. And I hate figuring out gauge. And not only that, but like, I don't like the look of the front triangle of one of them. Actually, I didn't like the look of both front triangles on them. So I'm just sort of like making my own pattern, making my way downtown, making my own pattern. Okay. So look at what we've got going on here. Oh my gosh, it's getting longer. It's getting longer. Eee! Okay. And we've still got yarn. What time is it? 10:45. I don't go on there unless there's a link. Oh, okay. I love Ravelry. And I used to save patterns and stuff on there and just be real involved and get into the forums and everything. But now I just go on there to look for patterns. And again, crocheting is one of my self-soothing activities. I always have at least one scarf going on so that I can just go Like if I'm in a place where I want to think about patterns and, stitches and gauge and all that stuff, then I go work on something like that. But if I just want to relax and maybe keep a panic attack at bay, do a little bit of self soothing, that's also good for you. Like some of our self soothing um, tactics or practices are good for us and they count as self care, such as like taking a nap or taking a short nap or taking a hot bath or crocheting. Like these are good, useful, self soothing things, but there are plenty of self soothing activities that you have to watch it. Like for me, it's eating snacks. Yes, that is self soothing, but I can't do that 24 hours a day. Oh, hang on. Who is meowing at me? Is that Tozy? Tozy! Where's the kitty? Oh, she's not going to come in here. Scott's going to let her out. Never mind. I guess we already had a cat. We had Cherry Blossom at the beginning of the live stream, so there you go. So if anyone is curious after listening to my long and involved mental health journey of the year, I do have another therapy appointment. And my next therapy appointment is next week. And after the epic meltdown that I had right after Thanksgiving last week, I'm definitely going to discuss with her medication options. I don't want to. I don't want to be on another medication. I'm already on hormones. Lord. I mean, I'm getting to that age though where I'm gonna have to like take pills every day. So, but yeah, I'm gonna talk to her about that because I spend way too much of my time managing my emotions and it's affecting my life and my family. And that's where that's where you have to really deal with it is when it starts affecting your life, when you can't go to work, when you can't go see your horses, when you can't pursue your dreams, when the things that normally are important to you suddenly become dull and not that big a deal. These are red flags that it's time to get some help. It's time. A little bit of holiday stress, which is what we're talking about tonight. A little bit of holiday stress is normal. It's a different everything's different. Everyone's schedule is off. Everything's happening differently. Work and school, these are all things that change and are different at this time. And when things change around, it is stressful. Plus, people have financial stresses this time of year. Not everyone can afford all the things that they want for Christmas for themselves or their children or their family. And so it becomes stressful. Family can be a huge stress. Like, even if you're not mentally ill, you may have relationships with your family that need work. And so, when they come over or when you're going to see them for the holidays, that it's going to be stressful and you're going to have to deal with something, whether it's politics or religion or, past traumas that you still have to deal with. A lot of us have family baggage that we have to work through at this time of year. So, like, even if you don't have depression or anxiety, even if you are normally mentally well, this is a time of year where a lot of people can experience um, elevated stress levels. There's so much pressure placed on us in our societies to like do Christmas right for your kids, or you have to decorate, or you have to be in the Christmas spirit, or you have to behave a certain way. You have to do things the right way. That that pressure can manifest as stress. So even if you don't deal with the same kind of crap that I do on a daily basis, you still may need more hot baths, more hot chocolate, more crocheting, more hanging out with your friends, more time alone, maybe more exercise. Like Lauren said earlier, go for a walk. Um, which, yeah, exercise. Actually, that's one thing. Like now that I'm riding my horses more, we started going back to Taekwondo class because my whole family practices Taekwondo, And for stress reasons and financial reasons, we had to quit for a couple months, but we are back. And that feels so good. I've only been to class this week, but just running around and kicking and just doing all that stuff again. It just feels so good. And it helps. It helps with my day. It helps with my moods. It helps with how I deal with everything. I am probably going to be, let's see, 10:49. We'll be wrapping this up in a bit. Wrapping it up. Okay. I'm about to get through the last bit of dark blue on this skein. Um, so tomorrow, I said I was in my jammies, but I'm actually in my breeches. I'm in my riding pants. um, and I'm in my little Quit Being Extra shirt, available at my Etsy store. So tonight I was like, you know what? I am not in the mood. This is why, again, I just washed my face. I didn't put on any makeup. I didn't even do my hair. I just washed it. This is what my hair looks like when I get out of the shower and it dries. And I am in the clothes. I'm going to sleep in my breeches so that tomorrow morning, all I have to do is put on my bra and my boots, have some breakfast, and go see my babies. That's my plan. That's my plan. So y'all check out the Instagram and the Facebooks tomorrow to see how these work on my babies. Look at that purple color though. Is that not gorgeous? It's going to look so pretty on Artax when I make him one that's the right size. Did I get all that done? Okay. Hey, Ellis. Oh, and good night, Britt. I'm gonna get your Brittany. I'm gonna get to your message in a little bit. But go to bed. You need some sleep. Amy, I can't hear you. Oh, apparently it's my computer. So thank you, Ellis. Yeah, today was like a no frills day. I literally could not even. I'm like, no, I'm not. Normally it's fun for me. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be on YouTube and going to do my live stream. So let me do my face and I'll like watch a beauty YouTuber's makeup video while I'm doing my video. And so I can feel like a beauty guru. But tonight I was like, we're just gonna, and I didn't even set anything up either. Like the computer is sitting on my desk right here with the webcam. I just put up 2 lights and I'm sitting here in my studio, just doing what I was doing before the live stream. So this is a real low key live stream tonight. We're just doing a stitch and bitch. We are making a scarf using the same stitch over and over again because it's soothing. Ellis, what are your favorite self-soothing activities to relieve stress? Oh my God, y'all, I was leaning forward. I have to toot, and I was about to just let it go. Like I'm just here in my room all by myself. That's why I was leaning forward. Yeah. Anyway, you're bad. What do you do for self-soothing? See, we talked about that before. I used to eat food, like I would just eat junk food as a self-soothing technique. So that was one of my things. But this crocheting is one. Taking a nap are the ones having a hot bath, taking off my bra, going for a walk. Lauren mentioned going for a walk earlier, working out, seeing your horses. We even talked a little bit about how the stress of feeling like you have to go see your horses even though you don't feel well can cause anxiety. But actually being with your horses can relieve the anxiety. So there are days where if I can muster the strength to get out of the house and go be productive and do something, then once I get out there and be with the babies, like I'm okay, I'm good. And it's not something that I get emotionally exhausted from and have to recover from. So that's nice. So there's that. And we're going to cut this live stream short in a little bit. I'm not even sure what we are going to do next week. I had big ideas for all of the live streams for the rest of this month, but I'm not sure. I want to have Adriana out here for one for us to do something creative and fun. I want to figure out how to make polo wraps. So that's another thing I want to do coming up in one of the live streams. And I want to try something new. We may still make Christmas ornaments for our trees with one. Oh my God, I got a new Christmas tree, you guys, and it's black. We haven't put it up yet. Liam picked it out. We were at Walmart and like our choices were this flocked tree and these white trees with lights on it. And then they had these trees that looked perfect, but they were black. I was like, oh, they're black. And Liam's like, that's kind of perfect for us. Like, okay. So we got the tree and we got to set it up. But yeah, I have a black Christmas tree. My mother's going to die. She's going to be like, Shale, is this a rebellion thing? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I am not going to get this done. We still got so much yarn. I'm not going to get this done during the live stream, I don't think. But hopefully I will get it done before my bedtime. So for anyone who is still watching the live stream, the point of today's live stream was have some self-soothing activities when you feel overwhelmed and stressed, but also make sure you're taking care of yourself. Self-soothing and self-care are two different things. So have your self-soothing strategies for your holiday stress, but also remember to take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Have a regular sleep schedule. Don't eat too much junk food. Or try to eat healthy foods, but do the exercise as much as you can, but do those things that you know will take care of you, even when you don't feel like it. That's the key for me, especially like exercising, doing it even when I don't feel like it, even if I have to phone it in, even if I have to do it half-ass, just do it. That's fine. I put on my shoes, I got out of the house, I did it. So there's my inspirational speech for the night. I hope everyone is feeling all inspired. I know I'm feeling inspired. Don't I look inspired? Aren't I inspiring right now? I think we've got like this much done during the live stream. It takes me forever to knit and crochet stuff. When people are like, why are hand knit things so expensive? I'm like, because it takes me days, okay? Like you want to pay $20 for a scarf? It took me 3 days to make. That'll be great. Why don't I make $20 every 3 days? Of course, here I am complaining about it and I'm making these for free. I'm giving these away because they're gifts. I'm such a complainer. All right. And once again, I have no idea what next week's live stream is going to be. So tune in. Hopefully Adriana will show up and we can like make stuff together. That might be fun to do Christmas ornaments with Adriana. Like bring her over here and we'll cut some things out. So I had some idea for paper ornaments. Making horse paper ornaments. I don't know. I keep saying I'm going to get off the live stream, but then I just do like one more stitch. This is how I end up crocheting for hours sometimes because I'll be like, just the end of this row. I just want to finish this row. And then when I finish the row, I just sort of start the next one. And then once I've started the next row, I'm like, well, let me just finish this row. Y'all. Okay, hang on. Where am I? The horse head with the yarn. I'm not sure. I've looked up several yarn ornaments and I'm not sure I want to do a yarn ornament. I was thinking of like paper ornaments where you either paint them or do like layers of paper. So thick cardstock too, not just like, whatever paper. But anyway. But yeah, maybe we can do that. Wire wrap. Okay. You drink. Hey, that can be a self-soothing activity. That's one of those like eating snacks though. Like a glass of wine is absolutely a self-soothing activity. A bottle of wine every night? Maybe not. Right. So let me look up the horse head yarn ornaments. Yarn ornaments? Let me look up the yarn ornaments and see what I can figure out. And then we'll make some ornaments. I wanted it to be easy so it wasn't like so people didn't have to get frustrated with it. So anyway, and I'm not sure I saw the jump vertical. Did you send me the was it on your page, Britt, or did you send me a link? I'll have to check it out. Anyway, it is 10:59. I love you guys so much. Thank you for showing up and just like stitching and bitching with me and talking about mental health. I think it's so important, especially if you're an American. Like our mental health care in this country sucks. Um, so if you are one of those people like me that desperately needs help with that, I'm here. I'm not a counselor or anything, but I'm here for you. You can hit me up in my messages. Some of y'all already know this. Some of you guys we've talked before when things get rough. So I'm here for you for that. So there you go, you guys. And if you're watching on the playback and you've like watched the whole thing, I love you. You're a rock star. Like and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys next week, hopefully for yarn horsehead ornaments. If that's what everybody wants to make, then I guess we're going to make yarn horsehead ornaments. So there you go. Say goodbye to my naked face. I love you guys. Bye.